Okay, folks, what we're going to do here is scan an image. It can be a logo, clip art, and then we're going to scan that and then send it to Photoshop. And then in Photoshop, we're going to convert that to a vector graphic. Okay, now this can be a logo, clip art, anything with more simple shapes to it, the shapes that are more defined. And it doesn't have to be color, it doesn't have to be black and white. We're going to end up converting everything to black and white in Photoshop, and then you can go back and add color using Illustrator or other vector programs. This is very easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and just go over to my scanner right now, and I have an old logo here that I did, and it's on paper. Now I no longer have this logo on the computer. I have no idea where it is. I think I made it like Photoshop 3 or something like that. Anyways, it's on paper, and so if you have anything on paper, like an invoice, something that you need to get scanned, any identity, like maybe your company identity or somebody else gives you something and they said, okay, put this in Photoshop, or I need this to be printed or converted in Illustrator or whatever, grab that, whatever you got, anything, like a piece of paper on your desk that has a logo on it, whatever you can use, put it in the scanner, okay? Okay, if you've got it in the scanner, just go into Photoshop. I'm going to go over here and go to File, and then down where it says Import, and I'm going to select my Hewlett-Packard ScanJet 5300C. Man, this thing's awesome, dude. It does everything. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open that up. What do you want to scan today? Okay, I'm just going to go, well, I want to scan my logo, and I don't really need color. Okay, so I'm just going to choose grayscale picture, just so it's a little easier to work with. I don't have to, have all the colors and stuff get in the way. And I'm going to go down here and just click on Preview to preview my scan. There it goes. Waiting on scanner. Waiting. It's like a little, Martian thing going across there. Like there's much communication. I mean, isn't it a USB connection? It's supposed to be pretty fast. Man, I don't know what the deal is here. Okay, I hear something. All right, there it is. Okay, it's scanning now. And there it is. The scanning preview comes up. And it's almost done here. Okay, and I like it. It looks good. Now, I'm recommending scanning at about 150 dpi. Okay, so go into your scanning options. Just click on. I know it might say something different than what mine says. Any of the scanning options on your computer. I'm going to go ahead and just click on here. Adjust the quality of the scan picture. I'll click on that, and then make sure that your resolution dpi dots per inch. Make sure that says 150, and then just click OK. All right, so I previewed my scan. It looks good, and I'm going to go ahead and finalize that by clicking on the scan button because I'm sure I like it where it is. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the scanner that that's exactly what I need, and it'll just send that to Photoshop. There it is. It's in Photoshop. Okay, I'm just going to resize it here and make sure it fits on the screen. I don't really need rulers, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn off rulers here. There we go. Okay, now the first thing I like to do is I'm going to come up here to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to brighten up the lighting, the lightest areas of the image. We want to brighten those up and then darken the darkest areas of the image. Okay. And I'm going to use this, do this using the levels here. I'm just going to move this slider, this left arrow here in, and move this middle arrow here. And if you've never used the levels before, it's going to be, it's really fun. It's really a lot of fun. It's a blast. It really gives you good control over the color here. Okay, that looks pretty good now. Now, don't worry too much about all the jagged edges and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and smooth those out a little bit later, okay? But you can see my apple here. The picture of little apple graphic was a lot lighter than the text was. And also another thing, if you have the font, okay, so let's say, look at this font. It's like a serif. It's like a serif typeface. It has some serifs on it. And if you can say, okay, well, that's a Times typeface, Times font. And we'll redo the font in Photoshop. Don't use the text from the scan because the quality is just not going to be as good. So I could just delete the text in this image and then recreate the text in Photoshop. So the apple is one of the most important parts here. That's looking pretty good right there. I've almost knocked out the color completely. All right. All right, we spent enough time on that. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. There we go. I'm going to double click on my background layer right now and just give it a name. I'm just going to put Apple. Now it becomes the Apple layer. I'm going to create a new layer on top of that Apple layer and drag the new one below the Apple layer. And I'm just going to keep it right there because that's just for something I'm going to do in just a bit. I'm going to need that later in just a moment. But for right now, I'm going to select all. I'm going to select the entire image and go up to Edit and select Copy. Of course, I'm not on the layer yet. I got to click on the layer and then go to Edit and then go to Copy. Copy the image or the logo into memory and then go to the Channels tab or the Channels palette. And if you don't see the Channels palette, just go up to Window and then make sure Channels is checked, okay? All right, so we're in the channels here. I'm going to go ahead and make a new channel here by clicking on the Create New Channel button at the bottom of the Channels palette. And there we go. And then I'm going to go up to Edit and select Paste. Okay, there's our logo. We have it in one of the channels on the Channels palette. And so what we want to do is make the logo, all the black areas, we want to make that white. So this is really easy. Just go up to Image, Adjustments, and select Invert. And just invert it so now all the black area is white. And this is exactly what we want. We can see more of the texture from the paper and from the printing that, you know, from the scan and everything. And we can go ahead and touch that up right now. I'm going to go ahead and just go up here to Select, Deselect. And okay, right now we're a little jagged around some of the edges. Before I do any more, I'm going to go up here to see Filter and then Blur, then Gaussian Blur. And I'm just going to give it just a tiny bit of blur to soften the edges. Do you see how it makes it soft? I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the preview here for a second. And you can see that, okay, it's not blurred now, but okay, it is now, and it's just a little more softer. And that'll give us a little more graphic to work with, because after that, we're going to go up to Image, Adjust, and then go to Levels. And then we're going to smooth the image once more. Okay, we're going to bring more white out. There we go. We don't see that nasty texture anymore because we just don't need that. We need the shape of the logo, the shape of the clip art. That's what's most important. Okay, there we go. That looks really good to me. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right, and guess what? We're almost done. Now, check this out. The next step, hold down the Control key on the keyboard, okay? And on the Macintosh, that's the Command key. And then click on the Alpha 1 channel, and it will select the logo in that channel, okay? Now, if you don't see it, open up the Paths palette, okay? If you don't see it, go to Window, and then come down here, make sure Paths is checked. I'm going to go ahead and select Paths. There it is. Now, all the way down at the bottom of the Paths palette, you'll see this little button, and it says Make Work Path from Selection, okay? But before you click on that, hold down the Alt button. And on the Macintosh, that's the Option button, okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and hold that down, boom, and then I'm going to click on the button. There we go. Make Work Path, little dialog here comes up, okay? Now the tolerance, okay? The higher the tolerance, the smoother the path is going to be around your logo, okay? This is, now you have to be very careful right here. Your input, the number you put in here, depends a lot on how big your logo is and how small it is, okay? Now, if you have nicely curved, round shapes in your logo or clip art, then you can increase the tolerance maybe to like a 2.0 or maybe a 2.5. But I found that for what I'm working on here, about a 1.5 pixel tolerance works pretty good. Anything lower, or if I do a 1 pixel tolerance, it's going to be a little jagged around the edges, not so smooth. But we want it smooth, so I'm going to go in here and enter 1.5 since 1.5 is already in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And there we go. It's created the path around my logo. It's put the path in the exact same spot where the selection was. Okay, and if you come up here where it says Work Path, you can see your path right there. All right, okay, so all the messy stuff's pretty much done already. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Layers palette. Click on the Layers palette to bring that back. And I'm going to go ahead and make a background, some background color here. I'm just going to go up here to edit and select fill. And then for the fill color, I'm going to select white and click OK. And there we go. I have a nice white background. I'm going to make a new layer above that background. Okay. I'm doing that just in case I wanted to add any color or change anything. I'm not doing it directly on my background layer there. So here we are. We have the path, and we can do a number of things right now with the path. It's currently converted to vector, believe it or not. All we see though is just the path. If you want to color it in, all we have to do is just select the pen tool on the toolbar here, and then right click inside the path and select fill path. And then for contents, black is already selected here. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK, and it fills the path in with black. Now I'm going to undo that. Now let's save our logo as a custom shape. And this is really easy to do. All you have to do is select the pen tool on the toolbar and then right click inside your logo or clip art and then select define custom shape. Okay, and then when that comes up, a little dialogue, I'll just go ahead and give it a name here, logo. And then I can't spell today, I don't know what it is, Hogo, logo, whatever it is, Cheerio. Let's go ahead and click OK. All right, now if I go up on the options bar right now and I select the custom shape tool, right to the right there, you'll see a little arrow. Click on that, and that'll open up the custom shape picker. And if you scroll all the way down, look at that. We're going to see our logo. It's right there. So we've saved our custom vector shape as a custom shape right now in the custom shape picker. So it'll always be there. And so we don't have to worry about anything right now. I know it's in there. I'm going to go ahead and click out of there right now. And then now I can delete that path that we've created. I'm going to go over to the path palette and then just right click on the path there and then select delete path, and it's gone. But it's not gone forever because we've saved it. And we can get that path back anytime we want by just going up here to the shape preset picker, selecting our logo. From there, just give it a double click, and then I'm going to hold down the shift key and make sure you're on, an empty layer or whatever. And then I'm going to hold down the shift key to, maintain its aspect ratio, and then just come over to the top left here, drag out that logo. Look at that, there he is. Nice and pretty as it was before I even delete the path layer. So what can we do with our vector shape logo now that we've created it? Well, we can send the paths to Illustrator, okay? Or we can make a shape layer, all right? Let me show you how to send the paths to Illustrator. And it's just really easy to do. Just go up here to File, and then go down to Export, and then select Paths to Illustrator. All the paths that you see on the image in Photoshop will be sent to be saved as an Illustrator file. I'm going to click on Paths to Illustrator, and then the Paths Export Paths dialog comes up. Just give it a name here. I'm going to go ahead and just put my logo, my awesome logo that I've created, and then just click Save, and then it's done. All we have to do now is open up Illustrator. Okay, here we are in Adobe Illustrator. Whew, that was quick. Hang in there, gang. We're almost done here. After you open up Adobe Illustrator, just go up to File and select Open, and then open the logo into Adobe Illustrator, and it'll come up looking all weird. You might not even see anything. It's just the way it comes up, and it shows you the crop marks and everything on the screen. Looks really cool. In order to see your logo, just go up here to Edit and select All, and there it is. Look, we're in Illustrator. The logo's made out of paths, just like if you were to make the logo in Illustrator. Look, can you believe this came from a scan? This is a scanned image that I've done like 5 years ago. And look, it's in Illustrator now. This is so exciting. Okay, we're wasting time here. All right, let me show you how this works now. We've got it in Illustrator, and of course it's not, there's no color, it's not filled in with anything. All we have to do now is just come over here and select the fill area of the image. We have the stroke, and then we have the fill selection area here in Illustrator. Well, I'm going to select the fill and then select the color. And look at that, it fills it in with color. I'm going to go ahead and click outside of the selection here, and you can see it. Okay, now you're probably going, well, it looks a little funny, some of the letters are a little colored in. Well, that's no big deal, because when you put this image, we've converted the paths, we've sent the paths to an Illustrator file, okay? And when you open that, it's going to look like this, and it's going to be separate. Each of the elements, each of the letters, each of the pieces of the logo are going to be separate, which is really good because this enables us to work on it a little bit easier. So I could come over here and select just this part of the apple and move that part of the apple, put it somewhere else, make it a little more smoother, do whatever I want. I'm going to go over here and click undo. Okay, so if we look over here at the letters, they don't really look right. They're all filled in, and it looks kind of funny. Well, it looks kind of cool. If you want to keep it like that, hey, it's up to you. But that's not really what the original logo looked like. So let me tell you what to do here. Go ahead and bring in the Pathfinder palette. The Pathfinder palette. Go up here to Window and try to find it. And if you don't see it, look around in Illustrator. You'll find it. And I find mine right down here. I'm going to bring it up here. There it is. The Pathfinder should be along with the Transform palette and the Align palette. You might see the Pathfinder palette there. And so what we have to do, we're going to have to minus front. We're going to have to use the minus front option on the Pathfinder palette. Okay, so first thing, the letter that you need to correct to delete the middle out of or whatever you have to do, let me show you a trick here. First select the letter, okay? Hold down the Shift key and then click on the spot that needs to be corrected. Okay, so now we can see the outline of the P. We can see that the middle area is separate from the outside of the P shape in the word apple. Okay, so what we want to do is minus the front. Okay, so I've held down the Shift key and selected both those areas, and then I'm going to come over here to the Pathfinder palette and click on minus front, and there it is. It's gone. Now do this to each letter. I'm going to come over here, boom, select the letter, hold down Shift, click in the area, minus front. Come over here to the E, hold down Shift, click in the middle, and go down here to minus front. Gone. Just keep going. Select A, and whoops, go ahead and select A into the middle, and then I'm going to select minus front. It's gone. And with the E, and then now minus front. Now, is there anything else? Did we miss anything? I don't think so. It looks perfect. So let's go ahead and switch back to Photoshop. But before we do that, you can do anything you want. You've got the logo vector shape in Illustrator. Okay, you can go print this out right now. I can go ahead and just select the entire logo. Okay, the entire logo. There we go. And then come up here to Object and group everything together. I can resize it now. It's a vector shape. I can do whatever I want. I could make it as big as the Empire State Building, and it will not lose its quality. Look at that. Looks great. Okay, let's go back to Photoshop real quick. I want to show you one more thing. Please hang in there. Just a second. I'm going to go ahead and close out Adobe Illustrator right now. I'm going to come up here and just minimize Adobe Illustrator. It's gone. We're back in Photoshop. Let me show you how to create a shape layer in Photoshop. It's really cool. It's really easy to do. First, I'm going to go over to the Paths palette right now, and I'm going to delete my work path. We've already saved it in the shape picker preset area. So up here. We've already saved it up there. So I'm going to go over here and just delete that path because we no longer need it. All right, I'm going to go back to the Layers palette. Okay, now come down here and make sure the Custom Shape tool is selected. And then after you've selected that, then make sure you select the logo from the picker, the Custom Shape picker up here. Double click. And then look over here on the options bar at the top. You'll see these three options here. We can make a filled pixels shape. Now, if we create a filled pixel shape, that means that it's not going to be vector. Okay, we want it to be vector because that's the whole point of the video, right? We got to make it vector. So now let's look at the middle one here, paths. If we have it on paths and we come over here and create our logo, we're just going to see the paths. Okay, well, it's kind of boring. There's no color or anything like that. And it's just giving us the paths which we originally had. And so we don't really want that. We're going to go ahead and go to Edit, Undo, Custom. And then the first one here is called Shape Layer. Well, the Shape Layers option here is really cool. It'll create a shape layer for us so we can do more things to the logo. And watch, I'm going to go ahead and create my logo here, release the shift key there and the mouse, and look at this, creates a shape layer. Now, this first box here, layer thumbnail, that is a color. Whatever color is in that layer thumbnail is going to be the color of the shape on that layer. Very easy. Okay, I want you to come right over here on the layer thumbnail and double click. And check this out. The color picker comes up. But you know what? We can't give our image any color right now because you know why? It's not in RGB mode. But I could come down here and give it a color of gray and click OK. But if you want to give it color, I want to go up here and go to Edit, Undo, and then up to Image, Mode, and then select RGB. And then I'm not going to merge the layers. Okay, I'm going to re-click on the layer thumbnail, and there's the color picker. It comes up, and now I can give my logo a color, click OK, and there it is. Okay, we've added color to our logo. Now, when we created that shape layer, if you go over to the path palette, you'll see that it's created another path, okay, just for that shape layer, shape 1 vector mask, okay. But if I, as long as that layer is selected, you're always going to see the path. But if I select another layer like the background, then the path's going to go away. And then, so if you wanted to modify the path, then you can go ahead and activate the shape layer path, or not the shape layer, and then you could resize the shape that is on that layer by going up to Edit, and then down here where it says Free Transform Path, or you can select Transform Path, and you have, you know, the scale, rotate, skew, and all those options. And so that's pretty much it, though. You can resize that logo or clip art anytime in Photoshop right now because you've converted it to a vector path. Okay, that's it.